Let's try this again. Everyone's in bed now, so I can do this. The other stream got cut off short, had loud girls, and a lot of Bernardo, who's never fun. So boring. Got back from a dinner theater just now. Set with some great people. Loved it. Had a fun night. It was a fun show. Wish the missus could have made it. We didn't have a babysitter, but other than that, it was perfect. It was a lot of fun. Good to be out. Got to see one, two, three people who one person used to go to all the dinner theaters all the time. Got to talk to him. Hadn't seen him in a while. Old theater guy, and then someone from work. So it was really nice. Hello, Anakin Solo. How are you? It's just me and you. You're like the only one watching right now. Feels like it's a Noah stream. But anyway, so never mind. Boom, here comes everyone. Hello, hey. Hello. Yeah, it's so fun to see you, sir. I'm drinking so much water because how's it going, man? Yeah, it was 100 degrees, and my wife took everyone to the fair, and throwing that shade on him. Hey, Alex, and so the little babies were getting really hot quick, so I like put them in the oh, look at that, yes, $1. So anyway, we were going to but anyway, they went to the fair, and the older kids had a blast. My wife got the all-you-can-ride bracelets for them, and they used the heck. I mean, they must have been there for 3 hours riding every little kiddie ride, and it was like a best day ever for them. Best day ever. I took the little babies around for one round, and when they were just like red in the face because it's super hot, there was no shade there. I just took them in the car, turned on the AC, and read a book, really good book, Star Wars book. Chugged in, checked in 100 pages strong. Had a good time. Kept the babies out of the shade, but the girls had a blast. They had so much fun. My wife showed me all the pictures, and man, they did not want to leave. 3 hours out in the extreme heat, and they were having fun. You're drinking a Pipex. I had one earlier today. I will have another one for Father's Day. Don't have that many, so I got to use them sparingly. Telling you. I'm one of the coolest. I've got to be one of the coolest guys in the world because of my Mr. Pibb shirt. Yeah, that's legit reason why. That's a legit reason why. Yeah, I'd buy that for $1. That's what he said. Swatter. Need a game with Matt Wilkins and Dave Filoni plot to it. Filoni and the 8 retcons. Yeah, for real. I like $7 to another YouTube channel and spent 17 on Uber. I'm slowly killing myself. Why are you Ubering it? I was asking myself that question today. Why can't someone drop you off? Don't you have a good buddy who can drop you off to work? Terrible. Thank you. Can't wait for tomorrow when nothing happens, because who cares about Father's Day? That's okay. No one has it. You got to remember Mama's Day, Mother's Day, but Father's Day. No, for Father's Day 1 year, my best Father's Day ever with my dad. We all bought him stuff that we wanted, and when he opened up the presents, we all took them. It was really we used to do that every year, and now we just kind of stopped. It's father. My dad's not even around here tomorrow. He left. He's with my brother in Wichita right now, so he won't even be here. So we're not going to do anything. I don't have anything planned. Like I said earlier, I'm not going out to eat. There's a billion people going out to eat. Like for Mother's Day, I'm not going out to eat for Mother's Day. There's a billion people going out to eat for Mother's Day. Just stick around, go here, go Chuck E. Cheese again. I don't know. Well, I know you don't have a car yet, but you got friends? Man, sucks. Buy a moped. Don't buy a moped. Motorcycles are cheap. Nothing's cheap right now. Ain't cheap to buy a used car, is it? Yeah, can't wait to reread that. I cannot wait to reread that. Alex, hate to tell you this, buddy. Hate to tell you this. Shadow Games, done, finished, read it. 100 pages into the next book. Reading machine, Frank the Tank. Probably so. Used junker cars, they're so expensive though right now. They're so expensive right now. Well, yeah, but that's kind of hard for him to do. I mean, maybe. I don't know where he lives, but why are you in California? Oh, Alex. No wonder you're miserable. You got to get out of California. Oh, you finished it too. Good for you. I was also thinking about when you were going to finish. I was like reading, I was on like page 302 or something. I was like, I wonder what page Alex was on last night. I should have asked him to see if I could have beat him or not. In my opinion, no, but it's not bad. Like Legacy, is it Legacy of the Jedi is next? No, Legacy of the Force, and then Fate of the Jedi. And Legacy of Force is good, but because they never go that dark again. They admitted later on that they felt they went too dark. I didn't think they did, but they pulled back the reins a little bit for uh, Legacy of the Force, which is not bad. It's still good. And then Fate of the Jedi, they pull back even more, which isn't bad. Fate of the Jedi is still a fun read, but not as good as New Jedi Order. But don't let it get you down. I mean, like I said, there's everything has a pinnacle. For me, it's New Jedi Order, but that doesn't mean there's not other good stuff. Shadow Games, really great book. Really great book. Oh, gas prices are crazy. 15-minute drive. It's a drive. Uh, I don't. Well, okay, so it's your parents' fault for moving there, I guess, or for living there. But yeah, it's time to get a job somewhere else. I don't think that's worth it. He would say that. Yes, he would. That's great. Darth Bane trilogy. There's another one. Darth Bane trilogy. Really good stuff. Drew Carbershin did another Old Republic novel. Which one was it, guys? It wasn't Fatal Alliance. It was Allegiance? Alliance? I can't, I don't have my books in front of me. Really good. Drew Carbershin's great. Yeah, but that doesn't mean there's other good books. I agree with that statement though, Alex. Do you like the Old Republic era as a whole? I never played the video game, so to me, it's not my favorite era by far. It's not my least favorite either, but I didn't play the video game. So for some people, it's their favorite because they play the video games. I totally get that. Yeah, Darth Vader's a good series. I know. I agree. The second reread, I can't wait to talk about it because really impressed. Really impressed. Hey, don't get a job where I work. What could you do? Oh, I mean, there's jobs everywhere. So yeah, he could actually live anywhere. Where would I get him a job? I don't know. I could get him a job at my work. They're hiring. I know the hiring manager. There you go. It's easy to get a job right now. Annihilation. That's it. Thank you. I don't know because I haven't watched the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Oh yeah, yeah, the Revan novel, which I thought was really good. Thought was really good. Hey, hey, so I got a question, Tim. Is Vince McMahon done? Because I went and watched the clip, SmackDown clip, after your little short. Is he done? That's so interesting because I missed, I wasn't keeping up with it. I'd heard like a little bit of it, but I didn't know he was going to be on SmackDown. And when you said that, I went back and saw a clip of it. So that's you. I'm interested. Gotta let me know, man. Well, it's hard now only because it feels so dated. And see, that's the thing. I got into it, and I still have uh, uh, um, um, KOTOR 1 and 2. So I still have the games. Someone lent me those games to play. I think I popped in one first, and I got lost. I hate the open world things. I don't know what to do, and I'm not going to run around for like an hour and a half to figure it out. I just don't care, so I turn it off. And this is back before you had that many. Maybe there were playthroughs on YouTube, but it was a few years after the game had come out. It's so weird because even when I play video games, I rarely got Star Wars video games. Isn't that weird? Like I wasn't. I love Star Wars, reading the books, but when I used to play video games, I rarely got a Star Wars video game. So weird. Yeah, you could. You could. You can work at my workplace because I know exactly where I put you. Um, because you do good in that department. Or you could work at my sister's bakery, or just tell me where you want to work, really, because everyone's hiring. You could do that right now. You're in California, I'm sure, but unfortunately, it's California. The downloadable content that they only sell you a shell of a game. You have to buy all the downloadable content, which costs just as much, if not more, than the game. That took me out completely from video games. I was already 1 foot out by that point, but that took me completely out. I don't like him either. But you know what? I think it's just me and you who feel this way. Because I seriously did. I don't know if people will believe me or not. I seriously went in to giving Jedi not Jedi Quest, excuse me, Last of the Jedi a second, a second chance. I said, because Jedi Quest was fun. I said, okay, maybe Last of the Jedi isn't bad. Maybe Ferris isn't that bad. I just don't like him. Right now, I thought you meant a job as an RN, registered nurse, which you can go anywhere and get a job like that. Come on down. Not a Dawn of the Jedi fan. Not a Dawn of the Jedi. But you should still read it and see if you like it. If you like it, please let me know. I don't even like the comic books anymore. I know at first I said I did, but no, I don't. John Ostrander couldn't even save that error. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think I sent you a ton of emails. Um, yeah, I got the hardback. Yeah, I've reviewed it. Reread it. It's just basically a rehash of what's all been going on in the Old Republic. It's not bad, but it's not something necessary to get. Didn't it come with the game? I think it came with a special edition of the game. Well, that McMahon said that he's willing, he's open to the investigation, and that he will accept whatever they, say. But man, he looked old on SmackDown. Isn't that weird? I don't know why. I mean, I know he's old. He's 71, right? But he looked old. He's always been, he feels like he's always been in his 50s or 60s to me. But that night, he felt a little old, maybe a little tired. I don't know. Either way, we'll see. We'll see. Stephanie's running it now, right now. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I don't do the too much walking. Can't stand it. You know what? It's a great question. I cannot remember. I just remember that after a while, I was like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and waste my time trying to, like, what was the Zelda game when they started doing that? Actually, Link to the Past does that, and I totally forgot. And Link to the Past is my favorite Zelda game back in the day, but recently, years ago, my wife bought me a copy, and I replayed it on my Super Nintendo, and I was like, oh. It's a little bit more open world. I mean, all Zelda is, but the first Zelda is the best. The first one is the best. But Wind Waker was fun, but I just didn't get into it the whole way. And then the N64 games. Well, no, Link to the Past is Super Nintendo, right? But the N64 games, everyone liked Ocarina of Time, and I can't remember. But the Mask of Majora, I didn't like them. I beat them, but that's because I used the little I used the little cheat song. I mean, I looked at where you had to go to figure things out because I said I don't want to just run around for an hour trying to figure out something. And I just thought it was. I think my roommate loved it. No, that's what happened. He played through it, then I played through it, and I'd call him into the room when I couldn't find something. He'd show me, but I hated it. I hated those, but he loved it. He liked Mask Majora, I think, more, but I didn't like either of them. Yeah, for real. Hmm. Just Jack Speeder. That's funny. Time for you to pack your bags. Yeah, yeah, man. That was the whole point. Rub it in his face. Yeah, but Dusty took it on the chin, man. He did what he could. You'd be my maid. I don't pay at all. I got too many kids. The summers are mean here. If you can make it through a summer here, you'll be fine. But summers are mean here. Like it's a humid heat. It's terrible. Not anymore. No, go back and watch my reread on them. They were subpar. So I was forcing myself to like it because I loved John Ostrander at the time. But to be honest, um, besides the Force Hound, I can't think of his name right now. Every other character is totally forgettable. After I'd read it, I could not remember a single one of their names, and that told me it wasn't that good of a series like I remembered. What's this? Not the first time. Not the first time through. I would, I would read it in pieces, but I wouldn't read it on. I would never tell someone who's never read it to read it in chronological order. First off, I think Dawn of the Jedi is awful, and they would quit right then and there. Secondly, there are, and I'm going now that I'm doing reread, I'm able to tell you whether this works. Sometimes it works great. AC Crispin did a bang. If you read in chronological order, AC Crispin is aces, man. She did great. It fits so seamlessly within the continuity. And then there's other things you're like, well, this isn't as impactful because you don't understand who this is yet. If you read in chronological order, you just don't get the impact of some of these storylines like you would later on if you would reveal it earlier. That's a great question. I don't know. It's a great question, but I really don't. I mean, I'm not gonna say vapid. I don't know. It's a great question though. Oh yeah, we're talking about chronological. See, I'm so far behind the comments. I don't believe so. What's a Bioshock game? Sorry. Knowledge is weak when it comes to video games. I like Deceive. I thought Deceive wasn't that bad. Yes, yes. No. I did I do it? Yeah, I did it all. First off, I did it without grabbing the wooden sword. I skipped and went to the white sword. Because you can beat the game without using the sword. That's hard though, but it was fun. That's weird because I thought I was the only one that done that, but I guess that's stupid to think because everyone's like that. Oh my goodness. Oh, I scrolled down. I lost everything. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm going to change things to the timeline. I'm reading Rebel Dawn now. All the books. Can't wait to reread those either. look at this. 9 out of 10 for last command. Who are you? Who's that? Hold on. Where's block user? Almost did it. I didn't mean to. I don't think I blocked him. Hello, Evan. Probably not. I don't know. No, maybe. I don't know. You could. I don't mind reading it in chronological order this time through. I don't mind it. Like I said, I'm able to rearrange my timeline now because of one sentence here, one thing. So it helps me straighten out my timeline, iron it out a few wrinkles. Odd if I would have my children, if I would read to my children in chronological order. If let's say, if I was reading to them when they got older. Interesting. Or would I do it by error? That's interesting. I don't know the answer to that question right now. I'm just asking myself that. I would do children's books first, obviously, and build up young adult books from there and then build it from there. But when we got to novels, where would you start? Very little, because most of it sucks. Dark greetings. Oh, there we go. Elon Musk here. No, I haven't. That I didn't play that. Maybe September. Maybe September. Joe could change that date though, so I'm not the authority on that. Oh, Waru by far. Get out of here. Because he changed his mind, I think, quite honestly. I think he changed his mind about it. No, that's what it was. No, I did. I skipped. I didn't even have a sword until the white sword. I think I got the white sword. But you can kill everyone with arrows, I think. And flame and bombs. But yeah. Of course. Yep, it is. Why am I so tall? Would be my first question. Quick opinion. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I wanted him with Callista, so, but fans love that. They love that. I'll do it right now. We'll see if Chris is here. So there it is. His invite has been sent. So if Chris comes on, you'll get your wish. I can't wait to read it. They're good villains, I think. Are you going to work? I'd bring Noah on. It's hard. You're right. And I did. I wrote Return to Endor. It'll never see the light of day. It's hard to do. I'd like to. I just don't have the time. I have maybe 20 minutes of free time in between. So that's where I read a lot. I can read stuff. And when I'm feeding the babies, I'm watching stuff. So I don't have time to be writing stuff. But that's hard to do. It's hard to do. I'd love to though. franchise as a whole. I mean, we grew up with it in the 80s, watching the movies and everything. So that way. Do we see Anakin Skywalker's ghost again? Good question. I don't think we saw it in the Marvel comic books. Yoda's Force Ghost, I don't think so. Well, but the fans demanded it. So I think he was just giving what the fans wanted. I don't disagree with you. It probably was forced. I can't wait to reread it because I bet you're right. But I think fans really wanted that, so they made it happen. What happened with the invasion? Marvel came out with some reprints. And are the Dark Horse reprints cheap? Because they reprinted that thing like twice, right? You think you could find an easy copy of that? The Nagai invasion was basically the short. And I love how Jason Fry in his Guide to Warfare refers to it as the Forgotten War. Like that's why people don't mention it because it was an invasion that happened and was done, and the rebellion or New Republic had to move on to the next thing. It's good, smart thinking. That's funny. Love it. Oh, I hate the abridged version. Don't do it. Don't do it. There's so many good. It's hard to say. There's so many good moments. So many good moments. Really? Oh, it's on his channel, right? He has it. He has on his YouTube channel, right? I think I've seen that. You're right. We do. I forgot about that. Like all of it. Like all of it. Good night, Chris. No, I think they ended it there, and that's where it should have been. It's a brutal book. Chris, I wrote an article for Sequart. The book's called A More Civilized Age, and it's on Amazon. And I wrote about how Crucible was not the proper, it was never meant to be the ending of the EU, and how we deserve a better ending. Not that Crucible was bad, it just wasn't set to be the ending. Got to talk to Troy Denning, interview him for that. That's not in the book, though. Favorite moment? Wait till you get to my review. I'll tell you my favorite moment. I forgot about it and I laughed so hard. Least favorite moment. I don't know. That's hard. It I'll say this. I think I used to say that was Joe Shriver's best, but after rereading it, which I still enjoy Death Troopers, I think I liked Mall Lockdown better. I think Mall Lockdown was just great. I knew it happened in the Marvel comic books. Was it the third annual? I knew. I had a feeling that I'd seen it. Oh, Chris, I'd love to have you. I'd love to have you. You're a special request. See, look, you say Christopher Nelson, and he comes. Good man. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And I read that slowly, a chapter a day, because I did not want it to be the last thing I ever read. Book. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where'd I go? There it is. Oh, wait. I definitely get raging on here. What a fun man. When I figure out who you are, I don't know who you are. Stranger danger. I don't know. We'll have to have you on. True. I've sent out some invites though already, so let me wait and see. Like if Rhino wants to come on, he can come on. That dude tagged me on his channel. He's very nice. And I'm annoying, so when I go on other people's channels, that's why Noah doesn't send me invites anymore on his channel. Because he knows it's just going to derail the conversation. That was a good one too. I agree. I disagree. I've heard that argument, Alex, but I disagree. And I'll tell you why. At one point, yes, because you know that at least Han and Chewie are going to live. So it basically takes away a lot of the tension, right? But that they're in a situation like that, that's kind of fun. And plus, the surprise that they were even in the novel happens almost at the halfway mark. Wonderful. Wonderful. There's a lot of good stuff to that. Yeah. Oh, he does. Adores. Is that Winter and Akbar, by the way, Scott? I love that. Oh, it's so good. Rereading it was just great. If you were to meet George Lucas, this is what the first thing you would do. Well, get him to admit how much he was involved at a limited capacity with the EU so that people would believe it. So you did a checklist of stuff, what they couldn't do. What contributions did you make to the EU? And he's going to answer. He'd answer that stuff. He'd be happy to. And he'd do the same thing. There's my story, there's Lucasfilm's story, and then there's fan fiction. He'd say that, but that he kept it in line with the movies and maybe even ask him what the sequels were about. Because he said, because he told Stephen Colbert a long time ago, he's like, well, my idea for the scripts they're not going to use is based off their children, like in the books. That's what he said. Tons of fun for sure. I guess Rhino doesn't want to join me either. I'm just not good with people. People don't want to be on my stream. Just as I make fun of him. Look at this. He's on.
How you doing?
Wow. Spoke too soon.
You did.
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
You're doing great. Guys, go sub to Raging Rhino if you want to have fun.
If you want to have fun making fun of Disney Star Wars, yeah.
You want to have fun making fun. How is... Well, no, never mind. I know what you think of Obi-Wan.
Yeah, it's horrible. I'm actually trying to figure out how to do at least a couple of video essay style videos out of this series. And I'm trying to figure it because there's so many things wrong with it, right? That it's so hard to pick like almost just one topic to sort of, because there's so many things that offshoot and go, okay, that destroys this and that destroys this. So you're making videos that are way too long.
And we're talking the movies. We're talking contradicts A New Hope.
Oh, and there's contradictions to... I feel like there's contradictions to Revenge of the Sith a little bit, or it does. Right. It doesn't contradict. It lessens events in the prequels. It makes less of those events.
But it's, you don't even have to be nitpicky on some of this stuff because some of it's like an obvious contradiction.
Yeah. And moving forward, moving forward, it definitely does a hell of a lot of damage. I think the one that I'm going to be working on, it actually ties in with the EU. I want to explain to people the difference between how the EU showed Obi-Wan finding out that Vader was still alive. Not that Vader was Anakin, he knew that, but that Vader was still alive, in comparison to how they did it in this Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Because in the EU, it's pretty much a year goes by. You've got the Kenobi novel, a year goes by, and you've got all the events of the rise of Darth Vader. And at the end of that book is when he actually realizes that Vader's still alive. And it's a year after Revenge of the Sith. And the way they've done it 10 years after, it's kind of like, it's so ridiculous to think that he didn't see something on the HoloNet or anything like that for 10 years. He didn't hear anything about the Empire for 10 years. Like, I find it so hard to believe that in this world that George created, that these things don't exist. And the way that they tell the stories is just one thing happening after another and plot forward, like for plot's sake. It's horrible.
That's what it is. Just stuff your face with popcorn and enjoy the movie. Remember what Matt Martin in the Lucasfilm Story Group said, it's not about continuity.
Yeah. See, headcanon. Headcanon's okay.
Headcanon.
Yeah,
there you
go. Yeah, go on.
Let me get to Scott. Do an article about that. Do an article about that for me for the website.
That's why I come like watching these, because like the EU, it's so intertwined and so in depth, but done so well. And I've said it before, George Lucas was able to make Star Wars for normies, but he was able to leave lore, continuity, and canon reasonably in check for the hardcore fans. And that's where Disney Lucasfilm just fall over. Yeah,
for real. I don't know the answer to that, so I didn't know there was, but I just know Del Rey, whenever they re-release these books now, they come with an unabridged version, which is great. I know, isn't this great? Look, Rhino.
Rhino, yes.
So the burning question is, what's the ladies like?
Well, it's been let's not go into that.
Oh, okay. So we're going to avoid that question, folks.
Life's been hard since, like, I can't even say the way I want to say it, but being an outcast, basically.
Oh,
not vaxxed or anything. So anyway, I don't want to get into that.
No, I know. You told me a while back. But
it's been tough.
We'll just have to get you to the States then.
Yeah, I actually really want to just sell everything and just come over there, but it's just that issue becomes an issue when you go to travel as well.
Still?
Well, I think to some degree, like I have to look into it a bit more.
Yeah.
And then would I be able to get a visa to come over there to actually like settle over there? It's almost like, well, the borders are open, aren't they? I guess.
The borders are open now. All you have to do is woo someone with your Australian accent, and then you're in like Flynn.
How you doing? Yeah. Yeah.
Just like that. Question here from Blue Pig. Underworld TV show would have been made. What would it have been like? I would have been fine if it would have been just people not involved with a big story, like meaning it's just people living in the underworld of Coruscant. It has nothing to do with hidden Jedi. Maybe there's one episode where they come across a hidden Jedi and Darth Vader comes in and kills him before they do anything about it. But I would not want it to have a big overarching story about a rebel cell on the planet. Maybe just people living out a tough life on Coruscant. You could have rebels in there, but don't make it something monumental. You know, like a group of rebels who are on a plan to eventually take out Emperor Palpatine. Well, they're not going to do that. So
it's like if they did a TV series out of it, you could almost have one episode where, you've got a bit of the rebels coming into it, and there's something there that just plays out because of certain circumstances. Again, you got to have the right cause and effect with it. But then you just move on with the original story. I mean, The Mandalorian, Jon Favreau said that The Mandalorian was supposed to basically be that. It was supposed to show the underworld. It was supposed to show the bounty hunter world, and it turned into something completely different to what he described it to be. There's so much though that they could have done with the EU. The fact that they threw it away is absolutely pathetic, because you look at the stories and the vast, and people go, oh, but that would take away the shock for all those people that read it. Are you serious? Like, these people want to see that on the big screen. That's what they were excited for.
Right.
It's so hard. I've only recently, because of everything that happened, really is why I got into the EU. Because of everything that happened with what Disney did with Star Wars is why I decided to actually read. I knew the EU existed and I knew the stories. Like, I knew about Chewie's death, spoilers everyone, before I read it. I knew all about that story, but I was still excited to possibly get to see that on the big screen. When Disney took it over, we were going to be able to see some of those stories come to life. And we didn't get that. So that's when I decided, okay, well, if I'm never going to actually get to see it on the screen, because I'm more a visual person than I'm a sit-down read person. But then I was like, fuck it. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this.
That's fine.
I'm so sorry.
Doesn't matter. It's fine.
But yeah, I just went on and just went, okay, I need to actually start reading these stories. And now that I've been reading them, like you mentioned, Darth Maul, Lockdown. What a great tie-in to, like, and even the Shadowhunter book. Like, they tie in so well with the Plagueis book, and then they also tie in well with the overall story in the movies, like with Phantom Menace. It's really good.
Yeah, and if you look at this, it seems, now again, I do not watch the new canon. You've watched Rebels, you've watched I guess the additional season of Clone Wars, stuff like that. So here's the deal, and I'm totally if I'm wrong, correct me. It seems like whenever they show Darth Maul, he's just a one-note character. It's the same thing. Whereas if you read the EU, his character is developing. We get to see this arc from him.
The problem,
he's learning lessons. He's not perfect.
Absolutely.
In Lockdown, he's not perfect in Shadow. I mean, Shadowhunter, someone gets the upper hand on him.
He actually, that entire mission, he only succeeds because of how it ends. I'm not even going to give it away.
Yeah, but it was great.
Succeeds. And it's such an amazing twist on that ending. It's like, wow, that is so crazy and so coincidental. But absolutely incredibly done.
Right.
I feel the biggest problem that they have with Maul is that, yes, Maul was a character that got killed off too soon. I feel like the introduction of Maul was awesome, and then to kill him off in that sort of same movie. But what they want to do is they want to move forward with Maul, whereas Maul should just be dead. The fact that they even brought him back and the explanation behind bringing him back is actually a real stretch. So they want to move forward with that. And yes, he is a very one-note character moving forward because the motivation has to be almost singular. That hatred for Kenobi is what kept him alive. So all he can do now is just that one note, move forward. I want to kill Kenobi. Yes, he does try to build his own Sith of two sort of thing with him and his brother. But again, like, those circumstances shouldn't even be happening because he honestly should be dead. Now, yes, people want to argue that, but they brought him back when George was still in power, so he must have been okay with it. All right, that's fair justification. He is the creator. He has got ultimate control over what he wants to do, and if that's how he wants to explain it, doesn't make it good. But yeah, the stories that they told before the events of the Phantom Menace is like he's very menacing character, but he also he's not just it almost seems like the way they did him in the new canon is like they're just pushing him forward again. Just the plot just pushes him forward. He's just along for the ride. Whereas at least when you read Shadowhunter and when you read Lockdown, it's kind of like there's so much better cause and effect. I can't even put it better than that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Get to some of these comments real quick here. Yeah, writing a book is really hard. It's really hard to do, but I mean, it just, do your best. Do your best. Now, there is one comment here. Look at this guy. He needs to stop raging and start celebrating the EU. What would be your comments to that guy?
I know I completely understand where he's coming from, but this is the thing. I can't just sit back and allow them to destroy it without at least giving them my criticism on it. That's where I sort of I love Star Wars so much to the point where, I believe there were promises made from Kathleen Kennedy to George Lucas that she obviously hasn't kept. And I am just going to keep pointing out and talking how bad it is. Now, I know that you prefer, obviously, to talk about the EU. So that's why I'd rather sort of try and keep it more threaded towards that. And the EU does make me happy when I talk about it. So,
okay. So, Alex, was that a good answer for you?
Yes.
There you go.
I don't like seeing people suffer. Noah's been doing it, Quality Autism, with everything post New Jedi Order. I'm like, just do something that makes you happy. And he's like, but all my fans want me to suffer. So when he watched he did a live stream where he watched that guy. He did a live stream where he reacted to fan videos. And we watched the Legacy of the Force one. And I was like, we could watch like any other fan film that might make you happy. I'm the one person trying to help you here. And no, he just likes to suffer. He's a Yusong Vong hiding.
I'm telling you, embrace the pain.
Exactly.
Do I wish Darth Maul should have stayed? Yes, I wish he would have stayed dead. I never wanted him back from the very beginning. I thought when he got cut in half, that was it. We could see prequel stuff of him, like Shadow Games, Lockdown, some of the short stories. Those were fun. But that should have been all we should have seen of him. He should have remained dead.
Well, it's also a great indication of how much of a pawn he was to Palpatine. Like, that's all he was. He was a pawn. He took out the one Jedi that probably could have stopped Order 66. But in the process, he lost that asset, and he immediately gains a whole new asset. Again, if you read the Plagueis book, great tie-in with getting and manipulating Dooku. Like, the way he manipulates Dooku is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it just, again, it goes to show how much of that's all he was, just an asset to Palpatine, to gaining that power.
Right. Neozoic, actually, we did a stream on Raging Rhino's channel that answered that question.
Good stream.
Yeah. So definitely go check that out. We basically talk about ideas for it. Star Wars girl got on there for 2 minutes and said that she couldn't remember the book, but said hello anyway because she has a crush on Rhino. So I mean, but it was really a fun stream. So definitely check that out because that question gets debated and talked about.
I had to re-upload that, so it is on my channel. Okay. You will find it there because I had to take out all those clips that we played. They copyright and blocked it. I
thought you were just saying he needs to cut out all my stuff too.
No,
for time's sake.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Just trying to catch up with the comments. See, Kenobi's very low effort. I think Rhino would agree with you there.
Absolutely.
From the clips I've seen, I would say so.
Seems pointless garbage again.
Mostly from Rhino's videos because I'm not going to watch it.
Drives me crazy. I do suffer.
Ruined it. I think it ruined it for a lot of people.
The thing is, though, is it's kind of like, people have been asking, is it worse than The Last Jedi? It's kind of like, well, I kind of almost think that it is because it actually does more damage to more characters than just like Luke Skywalker and telling a stupid story around that. Yeah. I mean, that last episode made Bail Organa one of the dumbest people in Star Wars, one of the dumbest, thickest People, they're ridiculous. Sorry, go on with your comments.
No. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just trying to catch up with all this because
You're
I don't
just,
know if I'm missing a.
adding credence to your name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If we need loop with 3, no, we don't.
Ooh.
No one can. I mean, people do, and they can. I just don't, And I talked to someone the other day who actually enjoyed it, but of course, they don't read the books, and they may not remember the movies that much. And if you're someone like that, if you're a fly-by-night fan, then yeah, maybe that's what you'd love about it.
Scott Johnson, I read all of TCW, or I watched all of it along with reading everything. It was a nightmare. Matt didn't do that. He didn't suffer through that. I did, and it was
Oh wow.
awful.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I
also
think
watched-
I'm not
Sorry,
with to this question here. You guys know I'm not an Ahsoka fan for my own reasons, but I got to ask first off, Alex, are you an Ahsoka fan? It's okay.
I'm indifferent to her. There are times where I
Yeah.
think she's all right, and there are times where I wish she didn't exist at all. But she does have decent moments, I'll say, to be fair.
Okay, I disagree with that, but that's okay.
That's okay. I do. Well, I don't think you remember season 5 as well. She gets less annoying, but she should have died.
She never does for me.
Fair enough.
She never does to me. Rhino, what about Ahsoka?
I'm a little bit the same as Alex because, like, I do think that there were some decent moments. Whether or not she should have existed, whether or not she should have been Anakin's Padawan is arguable. But I do believe that she's got some good development moments. The problem is now since the original Clone Wars, when George was still helming Lucasfilm, Ahsoka has become such an integral part of the rebellion and so important to every element of Star Wars moving forward that they've overdone it so much to the point where I fucking hate her. Oops.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait a minute. Now I'm going to get an R rating because you can't say it more than you only get one shot.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
PG-13.
Hey, at least I haven't said the C word.
I'm kidding.
Or the other F word.
Literally anybody that's been on his stream that's not him has done it so many times. It's okay.
If I'm going to host Ryan on the show once a month, I got to get used to it. Scott asked Alex a question because it's only my stream here. But Alex, what is your opinion of going through all the Clone Wars?
Oh, if we're only talking about Filoni, I grew up. I got to say, I was 7 when that show first came out because I'm a little young.
Oh, so you loved it, huh?
When I first watched it, yeah. I mean, I didn't know nothing. I knew nothing about the EU. I played the Force Unleashed game. I watched the movies. I played the Lego games, and I had that show. That was it. And the 2003 one, I vaguely remembered. But going through it a second time, it's very like 30-50. 30 on liking it, 50 on hating it. Like for every episode that I kind of liked, there was another like 10 that I despised. So,
well, one of my favorite parts of the Clone Wars, sorry, just to add to that, one of my favorite parts of the Clone Wars are the actual clones, the humanizing of the clones.
And
that was the best part of the show.
And the first few seasons, they focused anything with the clones was really good.
Really good.
And I enjoyed a lot of those. I don't think anyone remembered. Well, I mean, I wasn't doing my reviews, but back then I really was enjoying anything with the clones. And I do agree with that. I think the Clone Wars had a lot of good episodes. I didn't like anything with Ahsoka in it, but if you'd had to deal with just the clones, it was pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
It was pretty
like
good
the
stuff.
Umbarn arc is probably the. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying oh my gosh, how the fudge do you say that? The Umbaran arc. I'm probably butchering that name, but it's the best arc. It's with Krell, which is it's basically Dexter, but a different.
The one that puts the two Jedi forces up against. Sorry, the two clone forces up against each other.
Yeah, that's probably the best the show ever got. Though I still got mad that they made him a stereotypical bad guy by the end of the arc. If they would have kept him like just a Jedi that doesn't care about clones, it would have worked a lot better.
Yeah.
But they made him be like a dark acolyte for Dooku. And I was like, well, that ruins all the nuance that the first 3 episodes had.
Yeah, and the fact that the Jedi are starting to lose their way.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, the The only thing that they could do now is to do a massively hard reset. They would have to reset the whole thing, and they're never going to do that. So again,
I mean, it's
EU is
Let
where
me
it's
first
at.
answer this real quick. Don't read Karen Travis's clone books, Revolt Commando book. She humanizes the clones big time in that.
yeah, they get a little fresh and freaky with
The
every woman.
I would say, right, Scott.
They
Whatever
all have girlfriends.
whatever season prior to Darth Maul coming back, that was when it jumped the shark for me, and I lost interest.
Well, they needed to do that to basically bring, because it was losing fucking shitloads of money, and they needed, yeah.
That was when reruns of Family Guy was beating it in the ratings.
That is true.
Well, no one was watching it anymore. I don't know about Star Wars Theories Vader series. I'm sorry, I'm unsure about that. So I'm going to.
Do you mean his fan film?
Yeah, his fan film. Yeah.
Okay. What do you
I watched
think
those with Noah. I watched those with Noah.
That's what y'all were watching?
We watched a couple things. We watched that. We watched the Legacy of the Force fan film.
Oh no, I came in on the Legacy of the Force fan film.
Yeah, that's what he threw Isildur in the fire. Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I don't know. It's got a good budget because he's a rich YouTuber. I mean,
how many has he done? I've only seen one.
He's made two. One of them was just completely animated. The other one was live action with a bunch of special effects. Though, if you pause the video, you can see that the stormtroopers are wearing like Crocs instead of stormtrooper shoes, which was really funny. But you have to like pause it on that.
The video just right. It's for something else for kids your age. But okay, you're checking out their feet. That's
well, it's because somebody in stream
it's fine.
noticed
It's fine. Noah's German. He can have a foot fetish. I get it.
I only saw the one where he stopped all the blaster bolts.
I never saw it.
Yeah, that's the first one.
What did you think about
Mace Windu alive?
Rhino,
sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, it's fine.
Maybe this will help.
Say what you were going to say, Matt.
No, I was going to say, what did you think about that Star Wars Theory series? I guess I never watched it.
I'm with Alex. I thought it was fine. The fact that it goes into Mace Windu being alive, like these Jedi aren't supposed to survive Order 66. It was a Jedi purge that killed all of them except for Yoda and Obi-Wan. And maybe a couple of other stragglers that ended up getting hunted down and killed. Yeah. That's it. Like that's the story. For 19 years, the Jedi were gone.
Yeah, to be fair, in the EU, a bunch of them survived.
No. But what I'm saying, like a couple of stragglers, like I know from like obviously the Rise of Darth Vader, he hunts down those 4 or 5 Jedi on Kashyyyk and destroys them. Like but there's got to be a good story behind it. They can't survive. Like there's this Jedi showing up in the middle of the desert on Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
10 years after, he would have been a kid when Order 66 happened. Yeah. 10 years goes by and he just finds Obi-Wan in the middle of the desert and then he gets cut down and we find out there's heaps more. Like it's just this isn't what it was supposed to be. And like anyway, just back to Star Wars Theory's fan film. Like Star Wars Theory burnt me. He burnt me. Basically, I thought he was loyal Star Wars fan, loyal to the lore, loyal to the canon, loyal to the continuity. And he has definitely proved otherwise. Yeah. And that burnt me because I thought he was, and he was saying all the right things and doing all the right things. And then when it came down to the biggest thing was the Rise of Skywalker. He went into that and he's like, oh, if Anakin isn't the chosen one, if he doesn't show up in this, being that Palpatine's in it, blah, 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 blah. He was like saying all these things that this had to have happen. Otherwise, he was out. And then he sees the movie. None of anything that he said happens, and he loves it.
Yeah. All right. So let me ask the next question here. Which Star Wars era did you like best? Mine is the post-Jedi era. Alex, do you have one?
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, at least from everything I've read so far. I'm getting to the Rebellion era, but I doubt that's going to be my favorite era, but I do
Yeah.
enjoy the Clone Wars, except that it's muddled because I include TCW, so it's muddled with a whole lot of things. So it's a little bloated for me to fully enjoy it. I think a really interesting era is all the eras like the before episode 1 and in between episode 1 and 2. I think those are a little bit more interesting than the Clone Wars for me. The Old Republic era is fine. I really like Tales of the Jedi era, but I think with the vast majority of stories being post Return of the Jedi, and well, I came into the EU looking for a better sequel trilogy than the one I got, and so I immediately went. I read a couple stories in between every era, but I read everything pretty much, starting with Truce Bakora, and made my way forward.
That's a pretty low bar if you're trying to come in trying to find something better than the sequels.
Yeah, but I found something amazing. But
let me ask this question: Did any of y'all see Darth Vader or Smash City Studios KOTOR fan videos? I don't know anything about this.
I know nothing about this.
Rhino?
No, I don't know anything about it either. Sorry.
Okay, so no on that one. Hold on, let me make sure I'm getting. Dang, y'all are just blowing it up. So many Jedi survived Order 66, though. I'm finding
Ahsoka
out.
just can't die. She's bulletproof.
Well, there's in this last episode, they're in a hangar, and Obi-Wan Kenobi walks. Apparently, this is called the Path, and they basically get Jedi survivors and people that are part of the rebellion or whatever, and they smuggle them through, and they give them new lives and stuff like this. Obi-Wan Kenobi found a chest, and sitting on top of the chest, I counted. Now there could be more inside the chest, underneath the cloaks that these ones are sitting on, but there are 8 lightsabers sitting on top of this chest that obviously have survived Order 66, gone through this quote-unquote path, and been given a new identity and a new life. And this is the other thing with Disney Star Wars is the whole like turning off the Force. You know, these Jedi can just, flick a switch and they no longer, cut themselves off from the Force. It's such another bullshit arbitrary plot device for them. I believe that, yes, there was a way for Jason Solo to cut himself off from the Force, but I believe that was through death sticks or something. There was actually a way for him to do that through something else, and it was basically drugging himself. So, like, what's that?
Cade Skywalker.
It's a Cade Skywalker. Sorry, my bad. Like, I'm still yet to read them.
You're still reading through it, which I didn't want to give you your favorite era because you haven't read through it all yet. So you're still reading through it. So.
That's right. I'm still going through it. So sorry if I've got that incorrect.
No, you're okay. You're good.
It still proves my point because it's like, at least in the EU, there was a person out there that wanted to cut themselves off from the Force. But they actually had to do something. There was a cause and effect situation to do it. It wasn't just, boom, I've decided I'm cutting myself off from the Force now. It takes away from the line in Empire where Yoda's telling Luke how the Force works, what the Force is.
I know.
Thanks.
Oh my goodness. No, I agree with that. This no, I haven't. I don't make the time to watch fan films. I should. 2 things right here. We're going to answer someone's question about Order 66. I'm going to go grab a kid to go feed a kid. So I'll be out in just a minute. But just to tell you that the question was, how would you handle Order 66? And how I would handle it is with one story where most of the Jedi die. So that honestly, I did not realize this until I read through it in chronological order. What Jedi did die during Order 66 in the EU? It seems like there's hundreds. Now, there could have been thousands of Jedi out there, and maybe they're down to hundreds. So they're down to 10%. But in my opinion, there should be like a limited number, like below 50, I would say. And there's not. It feels like there are way more than that. So I would have cut it down, not to where there's no Jedi and Luke's the last of his kind. No, but I would definitely be very picky on who I'd make Jedi surviving it. What would you guys do? And I'll be right back with the kid.
Well, what I would do is everyone in the temple dies. Every single Jedi in the temple, Vader and the 501st should have definitely have destroyed every single Jedi, Padawan, youngling in the temple. No one survives the temple. It was the Jedi that was scattered across the galaxy. There could have, during the time of Order 66, there could have been, let's say, a Jedi with their clone troopers on a planet doing some insurgent, but the Jedi was by themselves, and they did get, attacked by their clones, but they were, there's also the element of like Yoda feeling all the Jedi dying during the Jedi Purge, that feeling that he has, you see that happen. So no doubt other Jedi would be feeling that as well. So I'm not going to say that there's no Jedi that, don't survive Order 66, but they should definitely be scattered. There was obviously the message that went out to them that Obi-Wan and Yoda changed the code so that they were told to stay away. And they just stayed in isolation. And, obviously there were Jedi out there that helped. I mean, there are, Rise of Darth Vader. I mentioned it before, but that would be how I would handle it. Pretty much how the EU handled it. It's almost perfect.
Yeah. I would,
Alex?
I would say I wouldn't change too much. I always envisioned like I don't know the exact number, but I was thinking like America, like in terms of how many Jedi were around. Like there's a lot at the temple. I guess I don't know how big the temple is to fit how many people, but I imagined a lot, a crap ton of them, some mediocre and subpar, others really great. So the idea that there'd be like maybe a couple hundred still kicking around. I mean, the galaxy's huge, so having it's not like it's the most powerful Jedi like Mace Windu is still alive and stuff like Star Wars Theory tried to do with his fan film. But it's a bunch of like average, decent Jedi kicking around, that are trying to lay low. Some try to do something and they end up dying because of it, but they don't end up being instrumental to anything in the movies. So I think that's okay the way the EU did that. Like Krook, if you read Dark Times, is phenomenal, but he would never be able to take down Vader or Palpatine. He would get owned so hard. But he has a lasting legacy throughout the EU, which I think is really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Noah said that there's 50 to 100, and by George Lucas, and yeah, that'd be great, but I just don't feel that there isn't. Reading the EU, I feel I could name 100. More than that. I feel it's a couple hundred. Now hold on, I got a super chat from Melissa that's getting answered more money
than I give.
She said, and I love how this covers up Alex's face. So I'm gonna leave this up here for a while. It says, Matt, have you seen Kenobi and thoughts so far? For me, it's the disappointment I thought it would be. Lore destroying, horribly acted, directed, written, and produced. Love ya, Melissa. Thank you so much. You've been watching way too much Raging Rhino that sounds just like him.
Yeah.
But just no, you're right. And I have not. Now here's the deal. There are, I believe, 3 types of people, 3 types of fans who have a reaction to Kenobi. And it's all fine, whatever you want. There are people out there who are like me who just don't care and never bothered. There are people who are interested to see, is this going to be good? Now, why? If they've seen so much garbage, would they expect it to be good? Let's be honest, Ewan McGregor did a good job portraying Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, yeah, would there have been potential there? Sure. So people would go in there with, you just crapped yourself, didn't you?
Huh?
Oh, no.
Smell that last one there, dude. Yeah, now you're look at the hold on. Hey, did you just poop yourself? You did? Look at the camera,
Maybe
buddy. Here, look at the camera. Did you poop yourself? Did you poop yourself? Huh? Did you just poo-poo?
That's
so
funny.
that's what I think about Kenobi. That's what I think about Kenobi. What do you think about this guy, Melissa? Like 10 times cuter than me. Look at that. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So, yeah, I can smell that. Wow. All right. Anyway, there's people who went in there thinking, well, maybe it will. I mean, seriously said, well, maybe this will be different because Ewan McGregor's good. I trust the people behind or whatnot. And then there's the people who go in there and just say, "Well, I know I'm going to hate it. Let's find out why."
The raging rhino.
And there's people. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I don't know why you want to do that, but I'm not the one to say what you. I mean, there's things I do. I was thinking about this just today. Oh no, yesterday I was sitting out on the porch reading a book, using my free time to read. I went, I wonder how many people would, like possess my body and go, is this what he's going to do all day? Is just read this stupid book? He's not going to do anything else. OMG, I cannot stand this. He's seriously going to read 100 pages right now. I'm dying here. Let's watch some TV or something. I mean, so how we utilize our time is your own will. But I feel that those are the three people who have the reactions. I know you're so proud of your poopy pants. You're so proud.
The problem with it though is the fact that Lucasfilm has actually created like these offshoots, these fan, like almost they've split the fan base up intentionally this way. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Because I could probably name, well, I know that there's at least 3 separate fan bases within the Star Wars fan base that some disagree completely, some agree on some things but disagree on other things. It's nuts what they've done. And this is why I said, and when I sort of came on earlier, I said, George Lucas was able to make Star Wars for normies, but at least keep lore continuity, canon, all that stuff in check for the hardcore fans, the ones that look into it like we do. And without that, it is what it is now. Just hot garbage, just a mess, because they don't actually get it. And Marshall Lucas was the one to say they don't get it, and they still don't get it. Go on, Alex.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and it has the MCU effect. Even if there's some good stuff in there, like I'm basically done with like the MCU. I watched Spider-Man because I love Spider-Man, so I'm gonna watch Spider-Man no matter what it is, because I like Spider-Man. I've liked Spider-Man since I was a little kid, and then I watched Doctor Strange too, just because my friends wanted to see it. But like, I have no interest in the story moving forward because I've stopped caring since Endgame. After that, I've stopped caring because they push it out every year. It stops being special when you see it all the time. The thing with Star Wars,
but it's also badly done.
Yeah, that too.
Really
but
badly done.
We had the 6 films, and the 2 Ewok movies if we're counting them, and Droids and Ewoks the cartoon, and then the 03 Clone Wars and the 08 one if we're counting that. And then we had the EU in between that. So if you wanted more, you read the books or you read the comics. But the movie still felt special because you only had those 6 films that were the big grand spectacle. Yeah. You weren't, I mean, sure, would it be nice to see a new Jedi Order series? Yeah. But at the same time, it's kind of special that we only have 6 films that can't be really tarnished because they are great. Oh, I think all 6 are great. I know other people would disagree. I like all 6 of them.
Rhino, how do you feel about the prequels?
I like them. I know I actually really like them. I know they've got their issues. I hate my least favorite one is actually Attack of the Clones, and it's more so because of the dialogue and the acting in that. That really lets that down for me big time. But I feel like at least it tells a cohesive, a coherent story. It was the way that George wanted to show us the story being told. So, okay, that's what it is. I like them. I mean, I love the duels in them. I love the, Duel of the Fates. I love the, Vader and on Mustafar. And I love Palpatine. And like, I think there are so many elements to it that are just, they are perfect. But then there's also a lot of elements that are really, they let it down a lot.
I've also seen so much since then that has made me appreciate them more than I ever have.
That's very true too.
And I will say, I think, despite any flaws that the prequels may have, the original trilogy told a very basic and simple story, which there's nothing wrong with simple. Some of the greatest stories ever told have been simple, but you have that simplicity, and the simplicity is great, and it tells a great story about forgiveness and redemption. But the prequels are telling something much more complex and much more grand. And I think overall, the prequels are telling a much better story. It's just execution that falls flat. Oh, I see.
Execution in
Oh. Do you have any more poop left in you, dude? Because
execution in elements
on
of it,
that
though.
dumpy line.
Because I would say that Palpatine was really good.
See, I know he's not full of crap because it's all in his diaper now. After that last line, I don't know. Exactly.
The story that's being told is complex.
So
it's just not being executed
well. Here's the thing. I'm fine with the prequels. I will never defend them.
I shall.
That's fine. I like the prequels, but I'm not going to defend them. I will say this to Rhino's credit, though. I think that, and someone said this in the chat too, but George Lucas is a terrible director. The actors are great in other movies. You can see other movies where they're great in, but for that one, they all fall flat. They're acting in front of just a green room. It's not even a green screen. Everything's green. You look at the behind the scenes stuff on those DVDs, and it's so heartbreaking that nothing was real hardly. And you're having to react to everything in just basically one big giant green room, and with actually little to no direction that's just faster and more intense. You're just not going to do that well. And that's why everything looked wooden.
Someone had the most practical effects and sets. If you look at the episode 1, like for example, the pod racing scene when everybody's in the stands and stuff, most of that's real. It's a model. The pod racing race is not, but the whole desert area is real.
Yeah, but what Matt's getting at is like the acting when you're zoomed in on people's faces, and like the dialogue that takes place is all taking place in a green room. You can't descale a person and act it down to the size of a model. Jesus. Down to the size of a model and put them in that model, and you know what I mean? So I know what Matt's saying. I understand what you're saying too, but
there's a series. Go
ahead.
There's it's a really long video, but there's a video on YouTube that goes into all the behind the scenes stuff with the prequels and stuff, and it might make you appreciate a lot more about what went into it than I think a lot of people, because a lot of people say the same sort of generic things, but I think it's just a whole lot of remembering all the bad parts and not thinking about the
Look, when you think about it, a lot of the worst parts.
Again, I enjoyed them, but I'm not gonna defend them. I would not say some of the things that you say.
That's fair.
I just wouldn't. Not that I hate them. I'm not gonna sit there and hate on them. There's some things I thought were bad, but at the same time, I'm thinking, well, if George had, because originally the idea was for George to do the first one, and then I believe it was Ron Howard and Steven Spielberg to take on episodes 2 and 3 because those were his close friends. And I think if he would have done that, 2 and 3, you've been looking at a much better prequel series because they would have handled it better, would have done more live sets, and would have incorporated better collaboration between the actors and the script and the direction.
But instead, George just said, "You should follow me now, Okie Day."
That George said, well, I think maybe if you move over there and I don't know, we'll fix it in post. I think that's what I'm just making money.
You sound like Mickey Mouse.
That's eventually what it was. Mickey was behind him just doing this, just the puppeteer there. So, but you know what? I blame Jim Henson for giving Disney so much power, because it was Jim Henson who put the whole idea of, well, I want to preserve my legacy of the Muppets long after I'm gone. And it looks like Disney will be here long after I'm gone forever, so they can preserve the legacy of my Muppets. And that's exactly what George was thinking too. And that's exactly why a lot of people think, oh, well, Disney will be around. They'll preserve. almost like a life capsule. I'll be dead, but my franchise, the characters I created, will always be remembered because Disney will never let them die.
Yeah.
And that's basically, and I mean, I understand you don't want to be, your work does not want to be forgotten, but
yeah,
I don't know. You need to watch it because ultimate power corrupts ultimately. And I mean, hey, Bob Iger, silver-tongued gorilla, man, that guy can talk. He knew that George had issues, and so he said, "Oh, George, gave him a shoulder to cry on." And I mean, you read Bob Iger's autobiography, and he played George. I mean, he doesn't say it like that, but he knew that there was an opening to get Star Wars, so he worked hard to get it. Why not? I mean, I don't blame him, but and that George had devalued Star Wars at the time because it wasn't worth $4 billion. He said everyone says we got it for a steal. He said, but honestly, he was just doing a TV show. There were no more movies, so he basically was devaluing his own product, and they knew they had it for a deal, but at the same time, George wanted $4 billion because that was what they paid for Marvel.
Yeah.
But at the same time, oh man, how disappointing. So here's someone to combat Alex on the prequels.
Oh, many people can. Oh, hello now.
Hello there.
I still got to read this chapter. I promised I would. I can't go to bed before I do that.
Yeah, you have to.
Yes. I must read the next chapter of the Jedi Prince series that he's writing.
From what I understand, it was his legacy he was concerned about preserving. Is what it sounds like from the
for sure.
Autobiography I watched. Now, could the autobiography be lying? True.
Well, the whole reason why he put Kathleen Kennedy in charge was to preserve the story, to preserve his legacy, and that's why I truly believe that she is a snake in the grass. She fucking manipulated the hell out of him.
Oh, yeah, and this one, Rick McCullen was a bum. That's why he. Oh, okay, Reiner, you need to go. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, no, dude. I'm sorry, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks, man, for coming on.
Great talking to you guys. Nice meeting you. Nice to see you, Noah.
Yeah, see you.
Alex, Matt, thank you for the invite. Take care, everyone.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you later, bud.
Bye.
Bye.
He said he wasn't.
Now there are three.
He said he'd be darned to spend any more time next to some German, so he's.
Oh no.
Oh, Ethan got excited too early.
So, here's let me see what is the next. I saw a question up here. Oh, Rick McCullen. Yeah, Rick McCullen was a bum. That's why when Disney took over, when they announced it, he was the first one to say I'm gone because they knew he was gonna. It is true.
Oh.
It's totally true, Noah.
Matt, did you realize that Noah is German Tom Holland?
Oh yeah.
Have
Looks
you
good.
seen?
Yeah, thank you, Alex. He was the first one to point it out.
Yeah,
because
I was watching what.
I did one stream without like my big headphones on, and people could actually see like my haircut, and they said, "Oh my god, it's Tom Holland."
It looks like if you look at it, look at a clip from Civil War. He looks just like him.
So what I want you to do now is I want you to explain your Jedi Prince sequel, book trilogy, while I'm going to change him. Okay. And
okay.
I'll be back.
Promotion.
Sounds good.
All right, go ahead, do that. I'll be right back.
All right, self-promotion. So basically, my Jedi Prince trilogy. The books are called Shadows of Obi-Wan, Legacy of Doom, and The Admiral's Wrath. And basically, it's gonna wrap up every loose end from the Jedi Prince books. Because, as you people probably know, we never saw Ken Palpatine ever again, or Triclops, and none of the stuff ever got mentioned. Yeah. And yeah, that's basically what I'm doing, just giving this trilogy these last adventures, and finishing off Ken's story arc, his character arc, and I'm gonna stick to the continuity because it was established later on.
And he may plan on doing different stories with Ken as well.
Yeah, and I'm sticking to the continuity because some stuff was established, like it was the Grand Admiral Maketi and the Dark Warrior Ezrakil who killed the prophets of the dark side and destroyed Scardia Station. And that's going to be the big finale for my trilogy in the last book. So basically, I had to introduce 2 new villains in Shadows of Obi-Wan, which is book 7. Yeah, and
But
I
they're
would
really
say,
good.
yeah, I would say someone pointed this out to me. I planned this more than Disney did the sequel trilogy, which is
So true.
it's sad but true.
Yeah, when somebody with autism makes a better story.
A Jedi Prince fan fiction trilogy is better than the Disney sequels.
It really
That's
is.
the timeline we live in.
Yeah,
It's
the
truly
crazy
all of
time.
it.
We also have we have like Terminator Ewoks, and if you love Lando, you get more Lando.
Because I'm working in a bunch of crazy ideas. This idea comes from Matt Wilkins originally, the legacy stuff. Because I wanted to incorporate the title Legacy of Doom, which was originally the title of a cancelled Bantam novel. And then I was like, okay, what is the Legacy of Doom? Oh my god. Legacy droids, as I call them, and they are Terminator Ewoks created by Lando in his newest business scheme. That's
Yeah.
just
Lando
a
is
brilliant
basically
moment.
Willy Wonka, but making toys, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
glorious. And he's doing it on Endor, and it's just like SpongeBob, where Zorba's getting all pissy and wants to stop Lando from making his toys, so he makes his own separate thing to try to destroy Lando's business.
Yeah, Zorba returns. He
it's-
teams up with the new villains, the Grand Admiral.
The best new addition, I think, is how do you say his name? Azrakul.
Ezrakil, yeah, the Dark
Azrakul.
Warrior.
Yeah, he is. I like him the most out of all the new characters that he's introduced. He's a lot of fun, and I think
yeah,
he's genuinely threatening, which is, I think, good.
Yeah, I think he's kind of because this was pointed out to me by people on our Discord. He's kind of like Brekis or Kylo Ren, even, where he's like this edgelord Darksider.
Yes. But I love it.
But he's
I love it.
actually somewhat effective.
Yeah, it's like Kate Skywalker, super edgy, but also effective
Mhm.
when he's not on
He
the death
just
sticks anyway.
he basically just shit talks everyone. He's very aggressive.
Yeah,
It's pretty good. He wants to murder
he
like a
hits Ken a few
12-year-old
times, doesn't
child.
he? Yeah, he does. So he
Hmm?
wants to murder like a 12-year-old child, and he doesn't he hit him a few times?
Yeah.
What happened? I had 30 viewers before I left. Okay.
Yeah, everyone left because I was talking about Jedi Prince.
No, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
So let me see. What have I missed? Oh, everyone's saying
What?
that. Oh, wait.
I'm such a loser. I need to start spending 50 when I have the money for it.
Here
I'm
we
gonna rob
go.
a bank.
Someone who spent some real money, unlike Alex. Finally, Matt, you're on when I'm awake because of the time difference. Keeping up with your views. Are you going to be reading the original? Yes, I will. Even though they're different from the films. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. And I'm excited to reread those and see the differences and everything. Because I enjoyed reading the prequel books, and I still feel that the prequel books are better than the movies. But I don't think the same of the original trilogy books. And obviously, those, to my remembrance, are them watching a rough cut or looking at an early script of the movie and then just writing it off that. Like, for instance, I believe Yoda is a blue alien in Empire Strikes Back. And there's a lot more training sequences that were either filmed or not filmed, but mentioned in the screenplay that, they put in the book. And that stuff's fine. That stuff's fine.
No one might
What?
disagree with you with episode 6 though, because it was in his
Yeah,
top
I
10 best
actually
EU
think
films or EU books.
Yeah, I actually think Return of the Jedi is better than the film and one of the best books. Like,
Return
honestly,
of
I
the
love
Jedi
this
novel.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
Return
No,
of the
I
Jedi.
can't. No, I look
It's
forward. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the difference is with Revenge of the Sith, it's basically a completely different thing, and he changes a lot. Return of the Jedi, it's a short book, and it only makes little changes, but those changes work really good, I think. And I think it really nails the characters, especially Lando in the beginning, I think is great. And the emotional scene with Vader and Luke at the end, I think, is absolutely glorious in the book.
Yeah,
Oh, hey, it's Lance.
but good question. So, Lance, yeah.
He doesn't make YouTube videos for some reason, but he's all over Instagram. He's
Who?
a big guy on Lance. He's
He's a big,
Star
he's a big
Wars. He's Star Wars
Instagram
EU
guy?
teen. Yeah. I'm like,
Okay,
make
there you go.
videos, but he refuses to. He just makes live streams on Instagram. I'm like, but why?
Well, there you go. Hey, that's his platform. It's fine. Let's see. German discount.
Great.
What's your favorite EU Sith Lord? Is the question.
Ooh.
That's a good question.
Off the top of my head, I would say it's between Darth Plagueis and Darth Krayt.
Hadis. Oh.
Oh.
Well, you know, even though I like the series, Matt, he's only really a Sith for 5 books, so I don't think I could put him in that because for the first 5 books, he's trying to like actually go through with it. So, no, not Darkitis. Even though I like the series, maybe, but you should just do it. Same thing with Josh on Noah's channel.
Yes, it will be written in the same style.
Yeah, he's being very faithful to not breaking continuity and to trying to write it how it would have actually been written in the sense of like how it feels. And I think it relatively does that. But obviously it's a different author, so it's going to feel slightly different. But he's trying. As for me, with the Sith Lord, actually maybe I should let Noah go first because I'm still thinking.
I already answered. Plagueis or Krayt.
Oh, but that wasn't an answer. You said one or the other. You gotta pick what.
Okay, let me think. I kind of want to say Plagueis. Okay, I'm gonna say Plagueis.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking Plagueis and Krayt was really cool, but it's either Bane for me, Plagueis, or Palpatine because he's the main villain. But I feel like that's too. But we said EU, so I guess I can't count Palpatine.
You can if you want to.
You can count Dark Empire Palpatine.
That's true. Naked Palpatine.
Oh, why would you pick that one? Fresh out of the clone tank, nude Palpatine is my.
Well, that's the first thing I think of when you say Dark Empire Palpatine is him naked.
That's not the first thing I think about when I think about Dark Empire Palpatine.
I just think about the art.
Okay, that's a fine.
That's not.
No, you've spoken. That's Noah. Fine. No, that's good.
Don't be Noah. I don't know where you twist my words.
Wow. Okay, that's great. Noah, pick better friends to go on your streams next time.
Yep. He's such a pervert. That's why I don't allow him on my streams that much.
Oh my gosh.
If I have a feeling if Dylan were here, he'd pick naked Palpatine too. Yeah, so don't worry.
To sit with him on his piss couch. I'm gonna go with Bane because I really like the rule of 2 concept for now, but I could change my mind.
Naked
Palpatine. Mm-hmm. Old guy from Family
Guy. Alex, what about naked Vader?
That'd be really crispy.
What kind of people do you have on your streams? No.
I just attract weirdos for some reason.
Just because Noah's the biggest one of them all.
I don't know. Let me ask this, chat. When you think about Dark Empire Palpatine, do you think about him naked?
Or do you think about like the Dracula
like
Palpatine
Alex, or do you think about him in a new body with a young face talking to Luke in his like black, guard robe, which is how I see him.
His Dracula face at the end.
Alex, there's your next question.
I think so. Did you watch that Revenge of the Sith movie where when he's burning, he screams? I know the exact part too. It's a funny meme.
Wow.
Where it shows like him when he goes from just like looking at Obi-Wan to screaming, and it's like that's the moment it reached the area.
But you know what, Scott? On the toy shelf, Alex pretended he was naked.
What?
Um,
There's,
so
there's
that's the
famous
weird
pictures
thing.
of him coming out of the tank. He's
So,
covered. He's
someone
not
asked
showing
you, okay,
nothing.
I know what you're talking about, but let's not talk about that scene anymore, please.
Yeah, please.
I know it's late at night for you, Alex, but
Oh my goodness.
you gotta go hop in that cold shower, my friend. Neozoic asked, "What are your favorite Star Wars couples?" And Neozoic, you asked that question earlier, and I just forgot to post it. So, do y'all
All
have
right.
favorite Star Wars couple besides Luke and Callista? And and Lando and Mara.
your
There's
two
another one.
favorites. Okay.
I love them.
Well, I have one. I think you will enjoy it. Ken Palpatine and Tash Aranda. It's gonna happen. In my fan fiction.
Winter and Akbar.
Spicy.
Trying
It's
to
a
think of
trap.
any more.
I would say Lando and Tendra. Even though we should have seen more of them.
Well, I totally agree with that. Tendra was a great match for him, but I wish we would have seen more. Besides the when did they hook up? Is that in
Corellian trilogy?
Corellian trilogy. I wish we would have seen way more of them afterwards.
Luke and Leia are my favorite. That's so
Damn,
funny.
I haven't gotten to that one yet.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
No, Luke and Gemma.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. From Dark Empire. Scott, I'm serious. That would be one of my favorites. And Mara and Lando. I thought they were when Kevin J. Anderson kind of teased that in Darksaber, didn't say anything, just kind of teased that they were together. I was like, why not? Excuse me, why not Lando?
That was actually Barbara Hambly in Children of the Jedi.
So what?
That scene where it's like kind of teased that Mara and Lando may have a thing. It's Children of the Jedi.
Oh, it's Children of the Jedi. I'm sorry, I thought it was Darksaber.
Yeah,
okay.
Because Darksaber has this one scene which you can tell it got written in like the last minute. Mara shows up at the Jedi Academy and she's literally flirting with Luke and checking out Callista and just seeing what the situation is. Because at that point they had decided, Zahn is doing this.
Kyle Katarn and Jan Ors. Oh, look at that.
Oh yeah.
They're well, they don't really become a couple. I mean, I guess it's kind of implied, but we never really see them as a couple. But I will say for absolute certainty that number one, I think, goes to Anakin and Tahiri. That for legitimate answers, not memes. Second one, I would say
the nightmares.
I would say
keep going.
Jason Solo and Tino Ka. Their whole story, I don't care, whatever happens, and I mean, I don't like what happened in Legacy of the Force to that relationship because it's sad.
I'm gonna say.
Sorry.
I'm gonna say Ben Skywalker and Vestara Kai.
I was gonna say that was my third pick because
I think everyone likes Anakin and Tahiri.
I absolutely love Ben and Vestara though, for sure. Vestara was the only interesting Lost Tribe Sith member because the rest were boring.
Reyna and Lusa are the characters.
That's great, though. That's great that we both knew that.
Jason and Danny was disgusting. We have a person in Noah's Discord who tries to defend such nonsense.
No,
Danny
do you
is
know?
awful.
Someone just reminded me of one. Oh, Wedge and Q-Zux.
Right.
I liked him. She was an egghead, scientist, and he was a starfighter pilot. Opposites attract. I was for that, but it was.
I
never
remember
meant
it
to
being
be.
cute.
It hurt my feelings when they wrote them off.
I remember reading it as like something that was cute, but I haven't read it in a year, so I could hate it now. I don't know, but I definitely didn't think it should last. I guess I'm glad with what they went after the.
Wait,
fact.
did Gant get with Qui after it?
That would be a twist.
No, did they?
I don't think so.
Lance knows
Dang.
what's up. Were they a couple? Ghent? I don't even remember Ghent being mentioned that much at all after. And it's too bad because he was he should have been. He was a cool character in the Zalm trilogy, and then they just hardly, if ever, mentioned him again.
I think
Gavin
his
just
last
watched-
big appearance was in Darkness.
He came
Gavin
back in
just watched-
something I remember, but it was just for a little while. I was like, man, Ghent's a great character.
Again, I wanted to do a RPG session where I would be an Ewok slicer because there's not that many slicers in the EU, and I just thought it'd be really funny to have an Ewok be a slicer.
You know who I liked, who was only in the Honor Among Thieves? Scarlet, was that her name?
I
Scarlet
think
Heart.
so.
Yeah, she was a good character, and it's too bad that we didn't get to see more of her. I thought she was interesting.
I
She had
do
like
like
one
Revan and
short story, I think.
Well, yeah, and the Insider, the
Yep.
kind of the prequel story or the warm up story to get you interested in the book. But she was an interesting character to me, and I was like, man, that's too bad. We're not going to see anything more of her.
Mm.
Kind of weird, but Michael Reeves makes Dash Rendar very enjoyable.
he does. He really does because Dash Rendar is just a ripoff of Han, but the book seems to recognize that and does something with that to make him different. And I
Yeah.
love that.
It definitely tries to separate the differences between Han and Dash and does a great job with it, even though they admit they have a lot in common, but they're not the same guy.
And every
I
scene
enjoyed
between the
that.
two of them is gold.
Yeah, and that Han isn't dominating that book. He comes in the beginning, he's gone through the middle, and he comes back in the third act. Great.
So since both of you are apparently reading Shadow Games,
we
how
finished it.
well is it working with Rebel Dawn? Because I think there might be a contradiction. Because Dash Render is in the last few pages of Rebel Dawn.
I have not noticed
Uh,
anything yet. I'm about 200 something pages into it. Durga the Hutt has accepted Caesar's help. So far, I haven't seen anything, but I need to finish it to see if there would be.
Oh, you're 200 pages into Rebel Dawn?
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing, Matt. I'm insane. So I read Rebel Dawn up to when Han bought the Falcon. Then I kept so first I read the Lando books, and then I read Rebel Dawn and everything up until the part where they start mentioning corporate sector stuff, and then I stopped and read all of Brian Daly's stuff and went back and forth because I'm crazy. But yes, that's why I'm about 240 pages in now into it.
Okay. I'm rereading it, Noah, so I'll let you know. Yeah, and to be honest, we know he's alive because in Shadows of the Empire Evolution, was it called Evolution or Revolution?
Evolution.
Evolution. At the very end of that comic, they reveal he's alive.
And then he
And-
returns in a New Jedi Order short story.
And in New Jedi Order, does he return, or they say what happened to him?
They just say what happened. His brother.
Yeah, they
shows
give
up.
they give the rest
Shadow
of the
Games,
story.
Ghostfish. Sorry, I was
Yeah,
just
Shadow
answering questions.
Games is the one. But yeah, and I'm trying to, let me see. I'll make the mistake of trying to have everything end up to the cantina. Yeah, I'm reading that now, and I'm having I'm thinking about rearranging my timeline for that, but she does die Ghostfish. She does skip a few months here and there. She does skip.
She skips a
through,
lot
so-
throughout all of her
so,
books. Or
to be
except for
fair,
the first
that's
one.
kind of, it's kind of like, oh, okay, so you can fit these 3 adventures within those 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. That's a lot to pack in, but you could still fit it in there.
Like the Shadow Games has to take place after everything on Elysia when Lando starts hating Han, but before the end of the book where he's at the cantina.
Yeah,
And that's
it's a little bit of a mess because she's going to skip ahead, we know, for Brian Daly's books, and then she's going to skip ahead a little bit more. But the thing is, though, you could input all those, but I think I would change that on the reading order. And by the way, you'll hear me say this on one of my future reviews, but I think whoever made my reading order just copied someone else's reading order, because some of this stuff I'm going, there's no way I would have put this in front of this. Like as I'm reading this, I don't think I did any of this. And then I found something. I was like, okay, he copied this from someone else's timeline and presented it as mine. And it's not mine. So some of it's just flat out wrong. Some of it I did. I'm sure some of it I got out of order, but some of them like,
yeah,
I don't think I ever had it like that. Some of them, again, another good reason why I'm rereading through the EU in chronological order, just to put things in there in the order that they probably should be. And does Rebel Dawn get dicey? I'll maybe, yeah, but I'll find out at the end. I know it leads up to the movie, right?
It does. It leads up to like Chewie and Han are entering the cantina. I think it even says something about seeing an old man and some dopey looking kid or something.
Yeah.
Like at the very end.
Yeah. So I mean, but there's time that's passed by since then.
Yeah. Like probably another couple months. But the best one that I think she does to fit everything is probably Brian Daly's, because she actually has specific sections where she says, oh, Han just came back from this adventure and this. So those are clear moments when you could switch over to another story. Whereas the other ones, you kind of just have to, a couple months passed. Well, now you got to throw a couple stories in there.
To this question, I'll say, it should only Alex would have enjoyed a 4-hour Revenge of the Sith movie.
I would have. And by the way, I didn't tell you, Matt, but episode 3 is my third favorite Star Wars film. It's episode 6, episode 5, episode 3, and then episode 4.
All right, I'm done. So Noah, what?
It's okay. Noah's done that to me too.
I can see why now. Hold on.
Oh right. Wait. Yeah, the Underworld comic. First off, the art, pure absolute garbage. The story, literally whatever. And Han and Lando are there together, and that pissed me off for the same reason I know it's going to piss me off when they're together in Scoundrels. Sorry.
So no, here's the thing. I'm trying to reread that. There are some comic books that one I thought got lost. It just got misfiled, but I already rebought it. Those are lost. I know I have them because I've read it. I've reviewed it. But whenever I put it back into a comic box, I have dug through my comic book boxes and I cannot find it. Thankfully, the trade is super cheap online, so I picked up a copy and waiting for it to come in so I can reread it. It's aggravating because I don't know where those individual issues are. I thought, maybe I just misplaced it like I did the last one I looked at. And that Sith Hunters thing, that book must have. I'm so mad that got thrown away. The Clone Wars little comic digest I lost, that thing probably got stuck underneath, it's thin. It probably got stuck underneath a cardboard box, on one of the bottom flaps. And I didn't, I guess I didn't know. I didn't notice it was missing, obviously. And so I think it just got stuck under those cardboard boxes and I just threw it away when I threw away all the cardboard boxes. Because it's so thin, it could have just laid flat on there and I wouldn't have even seen it unless I would have picked open the flaps, which I should have done, but it probably got shifted in the move and fell out, and that cost me. That was a $50 Christmas gift card gone to waste, because that's how much it costs to get, and it's not worth $50. So, especially that beat up copy I have now, when I had a pristine copy of it.
Yeah.
So I was really disappointed, but I've lost the Underworld comic books too. I mean, I've looked through 4 long boxes and I cannot find it. And I know I had them because I know I read them. So, but thankfully the when I looked online, the trade was like $10 with free shipping. I was like, done. And the thing is, I know it's not that good of a story though either. Or I know I just didn't think that much of it.
Oh my God, is this true? Ghost
does.
Fish. Oh, that
It
sounds
is.
horrible.
I just read it. Yeah.
Wait,
Rhea
so
shows
it's
up.
actually
I
it's
don't
actually
remember.
Rhea. Oh,
I don't
Bria
remember
shows up at
any.
the end.
I don't remember any of this, but I believe you. I don't remember any of this, but I believe you. And this one, I thought that was awful because here's what happened. Timothy Zahn wanted Lando back, and they said you can't have Lando back yet because Lando's mad at Han. Oh, well, okay, and it was like it was Timothy Zahn going, okay, so he made Lando look like a total idiot because after he splits with, which is great in AC Crispin's trilogy, but
Right.
then for some reason he's a dupe, he's a dummy because he joins Han again, but then gets mad at him again because Han screws him again. How many times is Han going to screw Lando? It makes Lando look bad.
well, apparently
Because
twice.
Zahn,
twice.
because Timothy Zahn wanted Lando in his book, he had to do it, but it just cheapens Lando's character. I hate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I gotta read that comic.
I
It's
need to read that
awful.
too. I don't remember. Well, if you missed it, Bali, Alex is talking about naked Palpatine.
Oh my
It's really the only thing you missed. Right. I know. I just haven't reread it, so I don't
Well,
remember.
both of them are equally stupid for doing so. Well, I know what Noah would say.
Yeah.
Really, I might surprise you.
Oh,
All right.
Let me think.
Agreed. All right. So, Neozoic's question, facepalm Alex while Noah's thinking.
Well, that story we just talked about, that makes me facepalm. No, but
Yeah.
Red Harvest, I just didn't care at all. I was
How
so
about-
bored.
How about this? Let me talk about another one. How about missed opportunities? What was one of the biggest? You're like, man, this could have been something, but they just dropped the ball on it. You and me both, brother.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have it for facepalm. Choices of One and Allegiance with the
Oh my gosh, I agree.
is Luke gonna meet Mara?
Okay.
Weird plot point.
Mine involves Mara Jade, but it's Union.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
How do you screw up the wedding of the century that everyone wants to
Should
read
have been a
about?
novel.
Make a 4-issue horrible waste of time comic book series on it. That's how you do it.
It should have been a novel.
But we got Mara Jade fighting an Imperial Royal Guard in
Yeah.
like one. It's basically off panel. We just see him get beaten up.
There you go, Alex. There's one for the books for you, buddy.
Oh god, yeah. I think the last couple Republic Commandos could have been a lot more. And now
Oh, yeah,
the fan fictions I shared with you, the Hand of Thrawn 45, I think does a better job than the last 3 books in that entire series.
Man, here is another excellent answer. Shadows of the Empire Evolution should have been something. And it was
Yeah.
a big dud. Man, I agree with that.
Yeah, and most people don't even know this exists. Like not even Shadows of the Empire fans.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
I'd rather they didn't. Plus, what was the deal with all the little stars in the
Plants.
background and stuff? What was the deal? It looked like it was supposed to be poster art or something. It was so weird.
It was stylistically designed to be that way.
Man, it was so bad. But yeah, I would say that's a great pick. So that's a missed opportunity there. This should have been better. This is a great conversation, though. I like this idea about what just had so much
Next Civilized
potential.
Age.
Red Harvest would be one. It should have
Yeah.
been good. It wasn't. Rereading it wasn't the worst.
It wasn't
I regret-
horrible.
I regret putting it on my worst because it's not the worst by far. But I just remember being so disappointed by it.
Missed opportunities, maybe approaching Storm.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Getting more books in Dawn of the Jedi to actually make it worth something. Because in my opinion, that one novel didn't cut it.
Oh, is Evan not here anymore? I was going to invite him on. Oh well.
No, you insulted him too many times, so he bailed.
Ooh, yes, but Crimson Empire. Anything after Crimson Empire was bad. But yes, that you don't finish strong. Crimson Empire 3.
Hmm.
How does everyone feel about droids that can pass as human due to synthetic skin? Well, it was in the Jedi Prince series too. So
Yeah,
those
so it's
droids,
great.
so those droids exist. We know Synthaflesh exists because Brian Daly uses it a lot.
Right.
Because that's how they kind of cure themselves. So that it can be put on a droid to make them look more human. I get what you're saying. It kind of makes it more cliche science fiction than Star Wars, but I don't mind it.
Star Wars has always been more fantasy to me than science fiction, so I'm more lenient with that stuff.
I'm not going to count this one, Lance, only because that's not Veach's fault. He got ordered to cut it short and end it. And yeah, I mean, definitely, Empire's End was it fizzled out, but it should have been much greater than a 2-part series. But that's not Veach's fault. Should have been greater.
Guys, I have it. Missed opportunities. Knight Errant.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's a great premise.
It is, and the villains are
idea,
really intriguing.
But how does John Jackson Miller, who writes the most perfect characters in the Knights of the Old Republic comic book? I mean, honestly, there's no one. He hits home runs with everyone. It's such a good characterization of just a great ensemble of a cast that you read about. Not a single one a dud. And then he does Knight Errant, and Kara Holt has to be the most vanilla lead in any novel.
And I mean, her name is literally a placeholder.
Only rivaled by Ferris.
Have you heard about this?
Oh, was it?
Yes. So Kara Holt, it's a combination of Knight, which starts with a K, and Errant. Kara and Holt is, placeholder.
Oh,
so
my
yeah,
goodness.
And you just kept it.
It's terrible. You could tell.
Yeah.
It's terrible. How is that like Stargate SG-1? What? I don't agree.
Yeah.
Champions of the Force. I don't know. I wouldn't say that one, me personally, but it's been a while since I've reread it. Let me see.
It gave me.
I don't have
That's all I need to know.
I don't have. Hey, Patterns of the Force. The third book.
Right.
Of the Force
Right.
Knights. It just went off the rails.
No, that's another thing. How does Michael Reeves go from the worst 2 books in his quadrilogy to this fantastic Shadow Games book? I don't. It's like 2 different people wrote those last 2 books because they're so awful.
Yeah, not consistent. Consistency is just rare with those guys. It's so weird. So weird. How do you, hold on. Sister. Okay, I can see that. That's a little bit of a stretch, but I can see that.
There's 3 5-issue comics, I think.
Yes. So it's 3 story arcs, and you read the first comic, basically the first trade paperback. Then you read the book, and then the next 2 comic paperbacks, and that's.
Or you don't read the book because they don't even mention the book, even though it says it's a sequel to the book.
Oh yeah.
It's just such a terror. The comic books aren't any good either. In fact, they're dumb. What's his face? His eyes are the same color in some of those. The color guy didn't even care.
No, they're after. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed it too.
That's a fair point. I need to reread it.
No, I can't.
She didn't get writing credit, but yeah, she helped out because because I think his Parkinson got worse during this time. He needed help writing.
I feel bad.
Now you should feel bad for shitting on him.
I don't feel bad because You can still slap someone with Parkinson's.
He shouldn't have had let her write it then.
She
Well, you
also
can
let the
definitely
series
He
tell.
also
die.
co-wrote Shadow Games.
If that's the case,
yeah, yeah.
you can definitely tell because it just went off the rails bad. Did she write Last Jedi? Did she kind of ghostwrite Last Jedi too?
No, they co-wrote it.
Oh,
She's on the cover.
Well, they also
credited.
co-wrote Shadow Games, but Shadow Games is good, so I don't
I
get it.
think he has talent. I think Sonny Oko needs to just move away. What was her name? Oko Yono. Excuse me. Oko Yono needs to move away from
Yoko
John
Ono.
Lennon. There you go.
Did you guys know that Shadow Games was originally gonna be Reeves and Steve Perry again?
Really?
Yeah, but Perry dropped out because apparently Lucasfilm demanded some changes and he wasn't happy with it. And then he just said, "Yeah, Michael, you and Maya go along and write it
Probably
together."
another Caesar sexual exploit.
It's-
That's what they're good. They got it.
I mean, Perry claims Lucasfilm forced him to include the sexual stuff. He tried to
Oh.
tone
The
it down,
trailers are
apparently.
good.
Oh yeah. Well, see, as they saw the brilliance of Troy Denning, they realized the errors of their ways and decided to add more of that stuff into Star Wars. And Steve Perry
I
was
don't
like,
know.
"This is too much even for me," and bailed.
Either that or Michael Reeves basically just wrote over what she wrote. I'm being mean now, but I don't care.
Oh.
Because if she wrote most of that, then she's not very good. That would explain why some of his books suffer.
They explained the drastic change from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Because 1 to 2 I enjoyed.
Yeah. But I mean, but what's okay? So that was for Michael Reeves. What's John Jackson Miller's excuse?
None.
I mean, you could say Knight Errant was his first novel.
I mean, because you look at Knight Errant the book, and then you look at something like Kenobi. So good.
I mean, with Kenobi, we know he worked on that concept for like a couple of years, way longer than Knight Errant, because it was originally supposed to be a comic, and then he just, reworked it into a novel. So there's something there.
Yeah, but yeah, that's interesting. Missed opportunities would be that kind of stuff. Oh, maybe the whole Dawn of the Jedi era was missed because I think this is the time they should have had backpacks attached to a laser sword, like in Ralph McQuarrie's drawings. I think that's where we could have seen that stuff during Dawn of the Jedi. You know, that ancient way of carrying a lightsaber with a big battery pack on your back. I think that'd have been great. And they decided not to do it for whatever reason. I don't know why.
And I think they should have also gone big in terms of like just marketing. Like, don't just have it be a comic book series. Have a new Jedi Order experience, basically. Go big, multimedia project style.
No, I did not like it. I don't think anyone did. But let me answer this one, Scott.
I think the comics are fine.
Are you saying that Lucasfilm made him put in that Caesar scene? Because that doesn't seem like something they would do.
Apparently, I'm pretty sure Perry said like, oh, Lucasfilm wanted the book to be more mature, and he had to fight against it. He wanted to tone it down. He didn't want to go too far with the.
There's different ways to make it more mature. Have more gruesome death or something like that. Don't, showing a falling phallic symbol is just not my idea of a good time. I mean,
it is naked Palpatines.
Well, you said it ain't no. See, Alex is reading it. He goes, well, it ain't no naked Palpatine, but it'll do for now. Walu's naked too. Why don't you go read Crystal Star again, you big perv?
No, I haven't. That was one I missed, so I will see that for the first time down the line.
He's like, look at that! Look at that Waru. I'd love to look underneath that scale.
Alex would love to swim in Varu.
Oh my gosh.
That's so nasty. That's the short story you write next. Swimming in Waru.
Yeah, the return of Varu.
It's just like a short story of someone who got swallowed by Waru and what it's like to be inside of him.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be epic.
Oh my gosh. That's incredible to think about.
Probably came directly from George Lucas.
Oh my goodness. I hate bugs though. I kill them all indiscriminately. I'm a racist to bugs. Oh gosh. I'm glad that on both your stream and Noah's streams I can be the joke.
Yeah, well, I mean, and Crystal Star wasn't a missed opportunity. It was like, what were they thinking? Well, I know what they were thinking. So, I mean, they just thought, well, we'll get some Star Trek writers, and
it will
Von
work.
McIntyre. The difference was Von McIntyre didn't ask for any help, didn't ask for any input or advice from the other authors, and A.C. Crispin did. And A.C. Crispin came across with a better book. Von McIntyre makes a book from a Star Trek perspective and just washes her hands of the whole deal, takes her check, says thank you, and walks away.
I honestly would have loved to see her write more.
Maybe with more collaboration.
Maybe.
Okay,
maybe
how would you end Star Wars as that's exactly it? Let Alex ponder on those words.
Oh my goodness.
That's maybe how we should end this. I'm about to end this stream, but how would you end Star Wars as a whole, Noah?
Okay. Self-advertisement. My Ultimate Chronology book, the way I ended the entire storyline after Endor, is with the Tales comic Storyteller, which is set in a, I guess, post-apocalyptic future. And it's basically two kids escaping slavery, finding C-3PO, aka the Storyteller, getting inspired by his story of Luke Skywalker, and eventually, because 3PO has Luke's green lightsaber inside him, they take the saber and basically a new story begins, a new era.
There you go. Alex?
I mean, I like what Noah said there. That's pretty far in the future, though. I like what Hand of Thrawn did with the end of the Legacy comics. But I was pretty happy, too, with how... I mean, there were some loose threads with the Legacy 2, but I was pretty satisfied with how that concluded.
Okay.
But I would like to see a conclusion to some of the OG characters. And I'd always thought, like, for Han, that Han and Leia wouldn't die of some adventure because they already had gone through so much. So I thought they would not have to face some heroic or sad end, that they would die peacefully. But Han would, on like when he felt like, man, I this is it, that he'd go in the Falcon one last time and just soar into the space one last time. Not with Leia, just by himself, because he'd die first because he's 10 years older. That's what I'll say for Han's ending.
Mine would end with a final clone of the Empire walking up to Alex and going, "Does this look like a Sparty clone infection to you?" Okay, well, you know what? I want to thank my guests for coming in. Alex, take a cold shower. Noah,
oh my goodness,
be careful who you invite on your next stream.
I will be.
And guys, you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Happy Father's Day to everyone who's a dad. Alex is too young. So is Noah. But I don't know.
A baby. Noah could be a player.
He'll find out tomorrow. But anyway, and maybe Naked Palpatine turns out to be Alex's dad. Who knows? But everyone have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for being here. And